And our last talk is by Cornelia Kofler. She already introduced Novartis, and now she's making a workshop, New Ways of Working. And she has a master's degree in international business. She has worked in many different fields in recruitment and employer branding, and she has worked for Novartis since 2016. I will give the word back to you.
For this part, I'll be very happy if you have any questions to really raise them right away. The topics that we're tackling are very different from slide to slide, so if there's any immediate question, feel free to, again, just raise your hand or post a question in the chat and we'll be answering for you. New ways of working. Why did I pick this topic? I personally believe, and there's some reasons here, that the world around us is changing quite fast and we need to adopt it. And why is it changing? Of course, there's some mega trends happening around us. And that would be digitalization and automation, which makes, if you read some studies, in 2050, maybe half of our jobs will be not there anymore or look very, very different. So this is a future ahead of us and we need to be adaptable to this. Of course, on the other side, we have a demographic shift in our society, meaning there is a new generation coming into the workforce, other generations are retiring. So there's also a shift of work preferences in that respect, but also the war of talent. I think this is something not new to any one of you. There is a scarcity of talents out there, and everyone is fighting for getting the best talents into the organization. On the other side, and this is something which is not fully in our control, but also some trends that obviously we're part of it, and this is also influencing our organization, but also our society as such. Our global crises, as we have experienced the last few years with the pandemic, but also some geopolitical crises or uncertainties, such as the war in Ukraine and so on. There are some other influences that are obviously impacting ourselves. So with all the changes happening around us, there are new skills and new behaviors entering our job market, entering our workforce. And as a company, you definitely need to react, and best case, not only react, but really be proactively monitoring trends and being ahead of time, not to be behind of the needs of people. So that's why the employee experience is some key word for us, which is really, really, really important that we closely monitor and try to be really, as mentioned, on the top of the time what is required and needed, and workplace flexibility is just one of the trends are very, very crucial for us. And what I would like you now to be a little bit contributing to the discussion, I will be sharing also in the chat a link with you. This is a Mentimeter survey that I'm using here and would like you to click either on the link in the chat, but what you could also do is take your phone, like the scanner mode, scan the QR code, and you will also get to the very same Mentimeter questions. And there is one question that I'm raising: what does it really mean to you? I would like to give you, let's say, about 2 minutes time. You can enter a word or multiple words, what it means for you personally, and what you connect with the new way of working. And I will be sharing a different screen where you can see also the results. But I'll be quiet for a minute or two to give you an opportunity. I hope the link works. Let me know if it doesn't work for anyone.
Yes, it works.
Perfect. So I'm really curious to see what is your feedback. I will be trying to switch the screen. I see there are some words coming in already, and it's still evolving and developing, so keep on going. Put your words in, and while that I will be trying to summarize what we're seeing here as a result. So we have 7 people, so please don't be shy. It's anonymous. Maybe I should have mentioned it. So we see here a lot of words coming in, such as flexibility, home office, 4-day week, We see also topics like work-life balance. So I guess online meetings, this is all about the flexibility, how you create the work environment. And I will be happy to share a little bit more insights on how we do that. I think it goes also some additional words that are coming in here is personal growth, as in your development. But also the work-life balance is something that I see quite big, meaning there's multiple people stepping into it. Online meetings, work-life balance. One topic, and I really appreciate that somebody mentioned that, as this is really also a very big topic within Novartis, is mental health and mindfulness. So we do a lot of communication. There's a lot of trainings, a lot of offer when it comes to mental health and personal well-being. And we really encourage people to go to these trainings, read through the materials that we have on personal well-being, and also in working time, you can dedicate time for trainings, because we really recognize it's so important that people feel healthy, that they feel that they are in control of their personal work-life balance, and the mental health is really important here as well. So on the next slide, so thank you very much for the contributions. I really like that. I will be going back to the presentation, and you will see in the next slides some of the topics that I would like to highlight are going into the same direction as you have provided now in your work cloud. So being back here at the presentation, a very brief insight, as this is really going into the direction how we work and how we interact with each other. So at the beginning, you already saw inspired, curious, ambitious, and integrity are some very strong words, and I can really tell you that every associate you would ask, they are remembering those 4 words. So we're very strong in promoting them, but not only promoting them, this is part of everyday work habits of all of us. And I'd like to point out 2 of them. Just time-wise, I might need to limit it to some topics. Curiosity. This is really big, and we heard it already when Letizia and Harald were talking that this is on their daily job is very much required. But what do we do on top of that? So we have a lot of training programs, a lot of development opportunities. On the one side, of course, being technical trainings, if you wish to learn more techniques or methodologies. On the other side, we have a lot of offerings when it comes to leadership trainings or personal development trainings. And as mentioned, the mental health and the mindfulness is one of that. It's very heavily promoted at the current time, as we see the clear importance of a healthy and a stable workforce, because as mentioned at the beginning, this is we're only as good as our people. So we really want to invest time in this very important topic. But to give a little bit an extra on the curiosity and the learning aspect, just to mention that as well, we have granted access for all our associates to, for example, get a full access on LinkedIn trainings, but also Coursera, for example, not only for personal use, but also for friends and families, where you can sign up, for your sister, for example. You could also use a Coursera link and do some personal trainings on topics that you would like. So this is something very strong. The learning culture is something at very top of our mind and priorities. And the other topic that I'd like to briefly point out is this word unbossed. You may not have heard of it, but for us it's a very common used wording. Unbossed is something we're striving very diligently to change our work environment for a few years. And this means a lot of unlearning old habits and learn new habits, especially for leaders. But not only this, what we mean is really that every associate is encouraged to take up responsibility, to lead projects, to contribute ideas. There's not such a hierarchy thinking, and maybe we can even ask Letizia and Harald if they want to contribute to this topic and show what it really means in the daily practice. So there is a lot of effort in it, and it is really a very strong theme.
Yes, I could freely add one just simple example is doesn't make any difference in English, but in German you could you would use the formal language or to pay higher respect to your managers. This is what we don't do. We always we talk to everyone on the same level. So we use just a surname, and also in my everyday work, I experienced that I could freely make my decisions. I could every time go to my manager if I needed some support, but I had the complete trust to make my own decisions and work unbossed.
Thank you. Good. So if there are no questions or additional comments, I really wanted to give you this insight in our values and behaviors and then how they really influence our daily work. Another topic, and again, you are required to enter your thoughts this time, and again, I'll show you also in the link. This is now, before I step into it and explore a little bit further how we look at those topics, can you please rate on the scale? You can simply shift the little arrow there. How important are certain topics for you personally? Again, I hope the link works for everyone. I'll give you another minute. So it should be a simple, easy request, but I'm really interested to see what is important to you when you would be entering the workforce, or you already are in a company, what you value the most.
Maybe I just use the time while you're typing
in
your
there you are.
Okay.
No,
it's working.
No. Yeah.
I just want to use the time to not having the silent moment here, because I wanted to add, I saw on this first Mentimeter answers also respect. So I think this is a very important word what we use here. So we are transparent. We are sometimes having, I call it fruitful discussions, because I don't want to say we fight, but it's always respectful. You know, you can have different opinions, but as long as you stay respectful, it drives you further, and you agree to a certain point, or you just disagree, and you have to find a compromise afterwards. But I think this word respect is also very, very, very big. It was a bit underestimated here in the Mentimeter, so we really live here respect, as we are a multicultural company. So this, I think, I just wanted to point it out once more. Thank you.
Thank you for this. I fully agree. It's very, very important how we work, and it's not about personal feelings, about really the content discussion that we value here. Good. Thanks for adding that. And while we are speaking, I can now show you some of the results where we have already the feedback from some of you. So it's very nice to see and I walk you through understanding the vision and the clear goals of the company is very, very highly rated from all of you. Similar to the recognition of work, has pretty much the same value, as well as the opportunities to learn and grow. Close to that is the healthy work-life balance, but also the opportunity to combine family and work. For me, it's interesting to be very open and transparent here with you. Home office opportunity is not so highly important to you. Nevertheless, we have a nice flexibility rule at hours, which is nicely appreciated, but to me, it's surprising. All right. So thanks for this feedback session. I will tap onto the topics in the future, or the next few slides, and give you a little bit of insight how we do this at Novartis. So thank you again. So one thing that I wanted to explain to you and give you some insights is our performance management program. We call it Evolve. Evolve is very extensive, what we understand with it. It really is built on 4 elements that all together throughout the entire year help us to grow and become better all together, but also as individually. And they are all based on values and behaviors that I earlier on presented to you. So what I wanted to share with you is objective setting process. How does that work with us? So basically, we do not have a top-down approach. It really is a collective approach. So what it means, of course, it's not that every department makes his or her own goals. It is aligned eventually, but every associate is asked in a so-called objective setting procedures or ceremonies to contribute of their own personal ideas. What does it mean? How can this person or the department contribute to the overall vision statement of the organization? So collectively, really contributes everyone to create a big objective. So every department is having this objective ceremony and putting it bottom up so that it really is summarizing and it needs obviously to match with the company vision. But this is a very collaborative approach, and the way we do it is that we don't have strict KPIs in our objective process. It's more about what we call big and bold objectives that are inspiring, that is really motivating everyone, but is also on the other side understood by everyone. So it's not some high level objective that is hard to make sense of for you personally in your day-to-day job routine, but it really makes sense and you know how to support the entire organization to become successful by contributing your own part to it. So this is a very nice approach. It's not only reviewed once or made once in a year, beginning of the year. There are so-called retro sessions where you sit down with your department, look at the objective that you have set at the beginning. Is there any changes to it? Are there any near step future activities that as a department you need to achieve? So this is broken down into smaller bits and pieces that really helps you to understand how to put that into practice. So this is one part of it, how we set the performance management, obviously. The other one is frequent check-ins, as we call them, and feedback. This is a very strong element of our culture. We believe that overall we can only be successful if everyone has an open, trust-based relationship with each other. And by doing so, it is also, and then we are back to this word that Harald brought up, respectfully work with each other and collaborate, but also being able to provide a good feedback. Having a feedback conversation is always seen as giving somebody a gift of being valued, because if you don't feel valued to this person, the person would not tell you what a certain situation made you feel and how you would like to improve the collaboration. So feedback immediately, and not only, at the end of the year where you hear something in March where you said something, this was irritating to another person. Feedback needs to be direct, feedback needs to be immediate, and needs to be looking forward to the future, how you can better collaborate. And this is some approach that is lived between peers, but also, of course, between associates and managers and how they work with each other. So the check-ins, they should happen regularly. There is one way of documenting it in the system, but basically what we really encourage everyone to do, to have regular meetings, one-on-ones with every associate, but also with the entire team to have a check-in and say, okay, what's going good, what's going bad, where can I remove obstacles as your manager? And this is the crucial conversations to have. How can a manager help to be successful in your job? And that's what check-ins are there for, to remove any hurdles and help you as a team member to become successful for the overarching goal. And so feedback is the one thing. Another thing, which is obviously also very important, and we heard already from Vititza some comments about this, how you're recognized for your work, because there's many occasions where people do excellent and really outstanding things, and there should be a very essential part of our culture that we reward, but also recognize the contribution of people. We call, as Vititza said, we call the program that we use Spark. Spark is a program which has multiple ways how we can work on it. So first of all, there is a way that I send a personal card to Harald and say happy birthday. I heard it's a special day of you. So this is also a way how you can use it. Or the other way, how Vititza explained, every associate, everyone gets 100 points, which is an equivalent of $100 US. Also to give you an idea, and those 100 points can be individually distributed to colleagues and peers inside the country, but also outside if you have any network out there, where you say thank you, where you recognize the help of somebody else, or says, that was outstanding and you really appreciate, for example, collaboration. So this is widely used, and we really encourage everyone to spend that budget across the entire network and across the entire year, and will be filled up the next year. But again, there's also additional way of recognizing people. So this is really individually from one person to the next. If people or individuals, but also teams are doing some outstanding activities, some outstanding initiatives, which is really going beyond and above, we definitely want to recognize that also. And doing this, we have two different team awards. One is two different awards. One is a team award. The other one is an individual award, where everyone can suggest anyone or any team and say, I think they did an outstanding job. So I, as Cornelia, am suggesting the team of 5 people, they should get a reward of 1,000 points because I think they have really great contribution to the success of our company. It will be reviewed by the managers, but I really appreciate that the way it works, that every associate can suggest any individual or any team for their great work that they did, contributing to the company's success. So I really, really think this is a crucial part of our culture, being very proud of the achievements of each other. And one last topic from my side, how we do the rewards. So of course, everyone has of us a base salary, but depending on the job then where you would enter, you also have a short-term incentive, which could be 5, 10, 15%, depending on your entry level and your promotions. So this is always given to you, depending also, it's multiplied with the company performance factors, so to say. There's one factor that is usually above 100%. It could theoretically also be lower than 100%, but in my career so far that hasn't occurred. So this is multiplied, so your base salary, your short-term incentive by the business performance factor of the company, and then this is distributed to all associates throughout the next following year. So this is also something just to give you some insights. There's an additional opportunity again here to reward outstanding, exceptional achievements also in your short-term incentives, which you will benefit throughout the next year. So maybe there's a lot of theory given by myself. Maybe Harald, maybe Vititza, I'll let you speak and share maybe some experiences in some of the topics that I've just explained, giving some daily insights what it means.
Yeah, maybe I start because so this Spark Awards, they really happen. It's not just a candy that you come here. So we really appreciate our work, what was done. 100 points doesn't seem much, but if it accumulates because you're most likely visible throughout the whole company, that might really be something substantial, where you can buy nice Christmas presents then. But it's more the words, you know. I just got a card last time after a presentation. There was no monetary reward, but the words keep me highly motivated. And it's money is one thing, but being happy in your job is the other one. And so this opportunity pays off in two different ways, on a non-monetary and a monetary level sometimes. But it's again the respect and the appreciation what I think stands first. So I really like the system to really give the points in whatever way to dedicated company members. Yes.
Thank you for that. Is there any question from anyone from the audience?
If there is no question, I wanted to add in to the frequent check-ins. So maybe you think like I did before, that talking to your boss before I started at Novartis, I thought, okay, I have to be careful. It's not a comfortable situation, but I think the frequent check-ins make the culture in which we live, and also the frequent check-ins make a big difference. So talking to your manager is the same feeling like talking to your colleagues, and maybe even better because you can share your troubles, and you will get support, and you will get more future perspective. So I felt good every time afterwards, and it highly supported me in my work and my growth. This is what I wanted to add.
Great, thank you. All right, if there are no further questions, I would be talking a little bit what you also highlighted on the next slide, the importance of flexible work environment and how we do this at Novartis. So we introduced a so-called program, which is named Choice with Responsibility. And what it really means is that we give full flexibility to our associates on when they work, how they work, and where they work. And there are some, I would say, natural boundaries to it, but basically what we really believe is by giving this flexibility to all the associates, and we heard that already, the well-being and the mental health is very, very crucial to all of us, and especially the pandemic made it visible that we might need different ways of working, and being there a little bit open-minded how we address that in a daily way. Responsibility, so this is the choice part of you being an associate of Novartis. The responsibility, it obviously it can be fully decided by an associate, but it needs to meet the needs of a team and the manager. So it really is associate-driven, as we call it, and team-enabled. What do we mean, basically? Is it you have the choice how you work, where you work, and when you work, but if the team is working at a very different schedule like you, and you're never there at the team meeting, this is obviously not a successful collaboration. So we do have, or we do encourage every team to have so-called how conversations. How do we want to collaborate? How do we have a hybrid working model? And this has been quite successful, and people are really enjoying this quite a bit. So people, can be very flexible to the extent of really being 100% in the home office if this is fine with everyone. I saw in your feedback that the home office flexibility is not such an important topic for you, but maybe especially when it comes to when to work. So we are flexible. So if you're an early starter, or if you always, if you have, for example, family, you want to play with your kids or help them with homework or so on, you can switch off the computer, for example, in the afternoon, and then continue work in the evening hours when the kids are to bed. So that's what we mean by the choice about when you work is up to you. Of course, there need to be some interchangeability of knowledge with your teammates. But in general, you're very flexible. If it's a really nice, beautiful day out there, and you have no appointments in the morning, and you would like to go for a hike or go for a run, you feel free to do that. There is no mandatory hours when you have to clock in or clock out. There are some legal boundaries, of course. We're not allowed to have everyone work at night hours, as there are some very, very strict rules about it, and we take it very careful also not to extend to any illegal working hours. It does, of course, look a little bit different if you're working in a production site. As an operator, we need to work at the machinery, but even there we have shift workers that do some documentation work, and every now and then they work from home and do documentation work at home. So in every kind of jobs, it's quite flexible. And then other interesting piece is where you work. So if you decide, your own, you can go to the office and work on site. You can work at home office, and there's another so-called third opportunity as in remote work. What we do understand with remote work is you can pretty much work, from a Starbucks, for example. If there is no confidential information that you're discussing, you can decide to work at any kind of location. You work on a park bench because you like to enjoy the sunshine out there. This is also something you can absolutely do. We also allow people, for example, if they go on vacation or if they have international family members, if they would extend a few days from their vacation in a country, for example, where their relatives are living, they can also work from different countries in the world to a maximum of certain days per year. But you would also be very flexible in working from any international location to a certain limitation. So this is what we understand with remote work. Good. I think we have a question, right?
Yes, we have a question. Yes. Should we read it aloud?
I can read it. So there's a question from Vanessa Maria Knapp. She says, thanks for the great talks. I was wondering if you also need people with life science background or a PhD in sales and marketing. If yes, what are those jobs?
So it's a little bit a different topic to tap into it, but happy to answer it at this stage. I would have come to the very end of the presentation also to this topic. So basically, we are very flexible in the kind of backgrounds we need. We have, and I will be sharing at the very end, a general link. You can find all the job postings. So it really, if there's a business background or a natural science background, as mentioned, we have 5,000 associates, and I think we have, and I wouldn't be able to quote now how many, but we have a lot of openings as well. So with all kind of background and experience level, I would be very confident in saying that there's multiple opportunities at any kind of level with any kind of background. It really is for us important that you also, know where you see yourself in your career and in your future, and pick the topics or pick the positions that you personally feel are appealing to you and apply directly for them. I would really encourage to apply for multiple positions at one time, also because we're such a big company that it really helps to put your CV out there to multiple departments, multiple hiring managers to increase your likelihood of getting the perfect match. So I hopefully have answered this question. Okay.
Yes, thanks.
Perfect. So being mindful of time, and maybe I'll jump on another topic that maybe in the next 2 or 3 minutes that I would like to answer or to show and present to you when it comes to flexibility at work. Because and there was one question that I very explicitly asked also, how important is it for you to connect family and work? And there are some opportunities that we make possible for all our associates, and one of them is parental leave. And with parental leave, I think we very stand alone here on the job market to really say very prominently and very proud also that we allow 14 weeks of parental leave, meaning a paid leave for every one mother and father when they have when they get a child. So in the first year of giving birth or adopting a child, similarly, every mother, every father is allowed to take 14 weeks, paid weeks of work. This could be at once, or this could be spread across the entire year. But this, I think, is a very unique opportunity to really take this offer and be with your family, especially in the first year when you're having a baby, and really take the time off work and really encourage everyone to spend time with the family and enjoy this time of their life, as this is quite unique. So we really, really are proud of it, but we really also see many people taking advantage, and it's very much encouraged for the entire organization. Another opportunity, because sometimes in your life you just desire to step outside of the working world for personal reasons and do something that you're very passionate about. So it could be a world trip, it could be some personal hobby, it could be working in a mountain hut or something like that. So whatever is your desire outside of work that you want to experience, we allow people to go on a sabbatical for 3 to 12 months every 5 years when they're with us. And by saying that, they would have a guarantee to come back after the time and have the same or a similar job. So this is also an opportunity that we very proudly present, as we know in every job, or and there might be super excitement about it, but there's an urge outside of work also that you would like to go after. So this is something I just wanted to share with all of you as well. So I think if there are no other questions, I'm happy to take questions from all of you for the last couple of minutes, and otherwise I'll show you where to learn more about job opportunities from Novartis. Is there any question out there? No questions? Okay.
Maybe
so, sure.
Maybe I just take the chance to add one point to the choice with responsibility. We also think green here in Novartis. So we do have the possibility for a shuttle bus. I think this was not mentioned in this presentation. We didn't think about it because it's so usual to me, at least, to take the shuttle bus in the morning. So you don't need your private car to come to work. There's a very good connection, let's say in a 20-30 kilometer area to bring you to the site. Because in Cornelia it's landside, you might not live very close to where you work, but is also quite good sometimes. So there is the opportunity for the shuttle bus, again, a chance to interconnect with other people, and also saving some CO2 emissions by using this shuttle bus. On the other hand, shuttle bus might take a bit longer than a private car, but the choice responsibility for me, especially, I work Monday, Thursday in the lab very efficiently. I try, but Friday might be the day to work offsite, so work at home, saving time, being efficient, being uninterrupted in really evaluating what I did the whole week long, and then it might also be the time to work or to close work earlier because you save the shuttle bus time and you are at home and you can start in the well-deserved weekend after evaluating your things.
Okay, cool. Thank you for this addition. There is probably many more benefits that we haven't mentioned at this stage. There's, I don't know, there's insurance also for your private endeavors. For example, I think we've talked about the canteen and it's supported money-wise. So there's a lot of other smaller benefits. I think it would take us much longer to list all of them, but once you are in the company, you will hear about them, you will learn about it, and sometimes we take them for granted, but I think it's really, really great what we offer to people being part of this network. With that being said, and also being mindful of time, and again, you find the link in the presentation, but also happy to share it right in the chat with you. We have many opportunities, as mentioned, in all different kind of fields, and this is ranging from what we heard today in the a scientist in the development and research area, but also in the manufacturing areas, as we heard from pizza, so being in the production, but also there's so many profiles that we wouldn't be able to summarize all of them. Obviously, in the quality environment, regulatory, there's so much more that we could offer. As mentioned, Vienna, we're very strong with marketing sales initiatives. So there's a huge variety of jobs out there, and we really can just encourage you to go on our Novartis site, as I posted it in the chat. Check it out, and really don't be shy. Send your CV in. Can also encourage you, if you would like to share your CV upfront without applying directly a job, but being part of the Novartis network, you can go to the second link. This is connected with today's event. The opportunity there is really to upload your CV. If you do that and giving the permission to be part of the Novartis network, your CV is already in our database. So whenever we have a job offering, we would definitely also look into this database proactively. Our recruiters will also work with the CVs that you're submitting on this link, and maybe you get also an opportunity proactively by us reaching out to you, and not only the other way around, you sending your active application. But I would definitely recommend to not rely only on that, but also really pick out from the many job offers that we have to offer what is of your interest, and apply directly for that position. And I think Harald mentioned it, don't be shy if you're not fitting 100% of the profile. I think we're absolutely happy to review your CV and check. There's many things that you can learn on the job. The mindset is very, very crucial for us, and this is why we also pointed out the values and behavior. If this feels like an environment you would like to work in, we're happy to get in touch with you.
Yeah, and maybe just very shortly to add on that, keep in mind you can only win in the lottery if you have a ticket for the lottery, and this ticket is for free.